Hey, Steve Gamache here for Chef Knives to Go, and what we have is another quick look product review. And what we've got this time is the Kohetsu 1K6 stainless small slicer 210 millimeter knife. And so this knife, you can read a little bit more about the steel on the site page. If you're looking at this video, you might be on the site page already for this product, but it's called 1K6 full stainless steel. They've got a little bit more about it, but it's a nice stainless steel. It works great for kitchen knives. Heat treats about 60 Rockwell on that, and the construction is mono steel, so this is probably laser cut and then ground to shape. So you'll get a lot of consistency from knife to knife from this. Handle weights can vary a little bit. This particular knife is 291 grams or 10.3 ounces. The edge length is right about 210, including the little curve up there towards the tip. And the overall length is 360 millimeters. Spine thickness, these are not particularly thick knives. They're not super thin behind the edge, but they're not big and heavy and thick either. There's a little bit of weight to them just because, you know, they're about 10 ounces, but it's a big knife. So you get a little bit of weight for some cutting power. But I got about 2¼ millimeters of spine thickness back here in front of the handle, above the heel, and then about 1.9 in the middle, and then kind of pretty much held that towards the front part of the blade. The height is pretty similar all the way across. That the back does have a little bit of a sweep here. So I got about 82 at the back and about 84 in the middle. So fairly similar. You've got a little bit of upsweep at the tip and a little bit upsweep at the heel. The handle is a very nice octagonal oak handle with what they call burnt urushi finish to it. Looks really cool. Again, a one-piece handle. These are nice warm feel to them and look, and they've got a good tight glue up seal job there where it goes into the handle, so very nicely done there. Fit and finish on these is quite good. You'll see the machine finish on this, so let's see what we can do here. These are a little tricky. We'll do that. So you can see the machine finish. There's some etched kanji on the right side of the blade as you'd be holding it. And then here's the left side of the blade. Trying to get my fingerprints all over it. So they've got a little polish to the spine, a little bit of corner relief on the spine, and then they've done a little bit of work on the choil back here and into the neck, so it's pretty comfortable right out of the box. I didn't find these super sharp out of the box. I'll give them a 5 out of 10, maybe in sharpness. They could be a little sharper, and I did test out the other one with the maple handle. That I'm going to be doing another video on here in a minute. And definitely, if they're sharper, it helps. They're not like super skinny behind the edge. There's a little bit of meat there. So the sharpness on these is going to be important to help it drop through food. And so once I added a bit of an edge to it, it definitely helped, flow through product for cutting. Depending on what you're doing, especially towards the tip, if you're doing some detail work, slicing up things and onions or whatever, it helps to have that sharp so it'll go through easier. Balance point, as you might guess, is going to be fairly far forward here. So there's your balance point. And that's fairly typical of a knife like this. So there's different ways you can hold them. Some people like to choke way up on it. Some people like to do that with their fingers. Some people just do a normal pinch grip. So there's a variety of ways you can hold these. And you can let the knife do part of the work. You've definitely got a lot of space there for your knuckles, for chopping. So a lot of people like the height of these because, again, they've got a lot of room to work with without potentially slicing up their fingers if they're not careful with using fingers as a guide. So it takes a little while to get used to these. They, again, have some weight to them, and they're bigger, so you have to kind of get used to where the edges and how to hold it and how to work through product. But a lot of people love this style of knife. And here's what the edge profile looks like. So what you've got is a pretty flat middle section. It's basically just flat right here, and then so to avoid that being like pool table flat all the way across, they give you a little belly towards the front and a little belly towards the rear. But in the middle, that is like really boom, it's just flat right there in the middle. So if you're going to cut the middle, you have to pretty much go perpendicular. If you start doing this, it's not going to cut probably like you think it is. But what this allows you to do, that belly towards the tip, is you can rock this guy pretty good here. So I can rock this pretty good. And then you got a little back belly there, so that'll give you some versatility towards that generally flat middle part. So if you're looking to try one of these, this is nice steel, fit and finish is good, and actually quite good. And again, you've got to keep them sharp to keep that performance up because they're not wafer thin behind the edge, but you get that weight to help you as well. So it's kind of an interesting combination of characteristics. So this is the Kohetsu 01K6 stainless small slicer 210mm knife from Chef Knives To Go.